Hi, I'm Mary, a librarian and a book reviewer with a focus on stories written for kids, tweens, and teens. Today I get to share with you this book called Hansel and Gretel, written by Stephen King and illustrated by Maurice Sendak. The classic story of Hansel and Gretel focuses on two children. When famine reaches their house, their father and stepmother decide that the best thing to do is to abandon the children in the woods because they don't have enough food to feed everyone. First, the children are clever and they're able to return home again, but when they have to go back to the woods, their first plan doesn't work quite as well the second time, and they find themselves really and truly lost. When they decide to venture into the forest and follow a bird that appears to be beckoning to them, they find a cabin, and in that cabin seems to be perhaps the answers that they're looking for. Lots of food and warmth to sustain them. But the witch who lives in that cabin has other ideas in mind, and the children must work together if they expect to survive. This retelling of the classic fairy tale Hansel and Gretel is as dark as one might expect, being written by Stephen King, and it has accompanying illustrations by Maurice Sendak. So the story itself is true to fairy tales of old, where there is a bit of a sinister side to them. There's a lot of spooky elements to this book, and as you can see, there's a lot of text also. So it's definitely written more for an older audience, ones who have the patience to sit through the text and also the maturity to manage the spooky elements of the story as well. You recognize a lot of Maurice Sendak's familiar illustrative style, and the book flows much like a traditional fairy tale as well. So it has a lot of repetition, it has the detail that is found in traditional fairy tales, and readers really find that there's a lot to question and consider when you have stories of what happens potentially when children find a mysterious cabin in the woods. So it's a cautionary tale. It's also one that is definitely on the darker side of fairy tales, even for traditional fairy tales, which often have that darker side to them. But it does have a connection to the modern world that is also really relevant and important. So for readers who enjoy Stephen King, who enjoy Maurice Sendak's work, and who appreciate retellings of classic fairy tales, this one is just right for spooky season, and it will please both adults who appreciate this kind of literature and children who don't mind a little bit of the things that go bump in the night. If this sounds like a great fit for you or for someone you know, I hope you look for it wherever you get your books.